This evening, new COVID-19 infection cases continues to rise around the country. Berbice man was sentenced to almost 2 decades behind bars for the murder of his friend over gossiping accusations in 2019. The Guyana Prison Service initiated an endeavour to build a self-sustaining food supply system. In the region, migrants suffer from exhaustion and illness as they head to the US. And internationally, Thailand eases cannabis laws but still bans recreational smoking. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Berbice. Thank you for joining us. 16 special needs schools and organizations will soon be offering guidance counseling services to persons with disability through a program which is being funded by the Office of the First Lady, Arya Ali. The program, according to the First Lady, is being implemented by the Guyana Council of Organizations for Persons with Disabilities. She said to date, more than 70 persons from regions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 have benefited from the program. Groups and individual sessions will be offered both virtually and in person to deal with the social and personal issues affecting those individuals with disabilities and provide career guidance for them. This is part of the strategy to ensure persons with disabilities have access to the kinds of opportunities, tools, and resources which would support their empowerment. A Berbice man received a nearly 2-decade prison sentence for fatally stabbing his friend after accusing him of gossiping. Esther Sobers has the details.
Samuel Strauss, also known as Sammy, was sentenced to 17 years in prison for fatally stabbing 25-year-old Patrick Reynolds of Limler Village, East Berbice Quarantine back in June 2019. Strauss appeared at the Berbice High Court before Justice Simon Morris Ramlal for the capital offense on Tuesday, June 7th. Strauss was found not guilty of the murder, but guilty of a lesser count of killing Reynolds after a 2-hour jury deliberation. Justice Morris Ramlal sentenced Strauss to 17 years imprisonment and ordered prison authorities to dock his time on remand. She told Strauss that he exhibited no remorse for his actions. She said he was a mature adult capable of making his own decisions while being aware of his consequences. The court heard that the incident reportedly emanated from Strauss accusing a cousin of Reynolds of talking his name. Reynolds intervened in the matter. Reynolds and Strauss began arguing when the accused pulled out a knife and stabbed Reynolds in the right side of the stomach. He fell on a heap of sand by the roadside. Strauss was later apprehended by public-spirited citizens and handed over to the police. He remained on his remand until his 17-year sentencing on Tuesday. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Prison is not the end of the road for over 60 inmates who are currently being trained in agricultural and poultry production in the various prisons. In an effort to create a self-sustaining food supply chain within the prison system, the Guyana Prison Service, through its agricultural program, has recently harvested several vegetables and fruits at its respective farms. Shallot, cauliflower, pineapple, bananas, and plantains were among the crops harvested. Director of Prisons Nicolon Elliott noted that the strategic goal of the program is to maximize yields through the service's investment in large-scale farming for the prison industry. Elliott explained that farming, including poultry farming, for the first half of the year has been productive. While working on the farms, the inmates are receiving training in agricultural and poultry farming to assist them with their reintegration into society. Some of the produce reaped were balanje, bora, pak choy, pumpkin, papayas, and passion fruit. Over 9,000 pounds of chicken and 441 trays of eggs. The Guyana Prison Service's recent efforts are focused on ensuring that farms are utilized to sufficiently supply the needs of the prison population in the coming years, while providing training for the inmates. Stick around after the break. New COVID-19 infection cases continues to rise around the country, and 59 more homes are slated for Williamsburg's Hampshire Region 6. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
At John Lewis Styles, We carry only first quality, men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands, and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
They say that when it hits you, it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give in to a juicy piece of KFC. To feel elevated by the aroma and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Welcome back. Ghana has taken a leap back on the list of high-risk travel locations. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has added 4 destinations to its list of high-risk travel locations regarding COVID-19 statistics. On Monday, Ghana, Mongolia, Namibia, and St. Kitts and Nevis were all deemed level 3 travel risk by the CDC. They were previously categorized at level 2 or moderate risk. The Ministry of Health is recording an increase in positive COVID-19 cases throughout the country. This is according to Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony.
Over the last 24 hours, we had 169 new cases. Currently, we have 1,086 active cases. So we have 28 people in hospital, 15 at Ocean View. Currently, we have 2 persons in the ICU at the Ocean View Hospital. We also have 2 persons at the Saudi Hospital in the COVID unit, 1 person in the COVID unit at the West Emirar Hospital, 4 persons in the hospital in Region 5, 4 persons in the New Amsterdam COVID unit, and 2 persons in Bartica.
The CDC has since warned persons traveling to these level 3 high-risk destinations to ensure they're up to date with their COVID-19 vaccinations. Quote, if you are not up to date with your COVID-19 vaccines, avoid travel to these destinations. End of quote. To be considered a level 3 or high-risk destination, countries must have more than 100 new COVID-19 cases per 100,000 residents over the past 28 days. Level 4 is known as special circumstances or do not travel. Currently, there are no locations on that list. In April, the agency removed all destinations from the level 4 risk category, saying it would reserve level 4 warnings for special circumstances such as rapidly escalating case trajectory or extremely high case count, the emergence of a new variant of concern, or healthcare infrastructure collapse. With this new configuration, travelers will have a more actionable alert for when they should not travel to a level 4 destination, regardless of vaccination status, until there is clear understanding of the COVID-19 situation at that destination. Meanwhile, Dr. Anthony is reminding citizens to protect themselves from the deadly disease by following the public health measures of getting vaccinated, frequent sanitization, and wearing a face mask.
You should be wearing a mask. That's one of the safest way of protecting yourself. And not just any mask, but you should wear an N95 mask, because the N95 mask, it has 5 layers, and it is designed to protect viral particles from getting to your nose or your mouth. So if you wear an N95 mask properly, the chances of getting infected is very low. So I would advise people to wear their mask. I know in many jurisdictions now, people have stopped wearing masks. But if you are not protected and you're next to someone who is infected, you are going to get infected, because the current variants are very contagious, are very infectious. And these are the most infectious variants that we have right now. So if you are not protected with a mask, you are going to get infected.
The Williamsburg, Hampshire Housing Development in Region 6 has received additional land for 59 homes, as the Sobers explains.
Additional lands for 59 homes were allocated to Williamsburg, Hampshire Housing Development in Region 6 by the Ministry of Housing and Water, Central Housing and Planning Authority. This will be in addition to the $750 million project to build 100 low-income homes in the region. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowe stated that this would help address the high demand for housing in the region. The minister was at the time delivering remarks at an allocation exercise at the Central Quarantine Chambers of Commerce at Rose Hall Quarantine on June 4th. 28 families were allocated housing units during that exercise. The minister said the program would help address 6,000 backlog applications within the CHPA system and stimulate economic growth within the region. He added that the work is ongoing to find more lands quickly to respond to those applications. Earlier this year, President Ali said the government would build 100 dwelling units in Palmyra, a location targeted for significant development. There will also be a national stadium, international hotel, shopping malls, and a private hospital, among other essential infrastructure. Over 10,000 housing lots have been allocated in the last year, with another 14,000 set to be distributed this year. Furthermore, close to 1,000 turnkey homes are being built, with an additional 1,000 low-cost dwellings to be built using local wood. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. I don't want it to happen again, Texas shooting survivor says. And Thailand eases cannabis laws but still bans recreational smoking.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. As the leaders from the Western Hemisphere meet in Los Angeles this weekend for the Summit of the Americas, thousands of migrants continue to make their way towards the United States from the southern Mexico. Health experts warn that the crowded conditions and extreme heat is creating dangerous conditions for them, especially the children. Al Jazeera's Manuel Rapallo is with the group and reports.
A public gymnasium in southern Mexico has been temporarily transformed to house thousands of migrants and asylum seekers. It's crowded, and many people here are starting to get sick. Medics from a humanitarian group say they're treating hundreds of people every day, but they can't tend to everyone.
It's not enough. The flow of migrants is constant and it's big. We always need more support, more hands, more resources.
Conditions at the camp are also unsanitary. The risk is especially high for children. Observers from UNICEF say the situation here is extremely precarious.
You can see there are many people here. Many boys and girls are sick. They have fevers, their bodies covered with insect bites, and the heat is affecting small babies in particular.
Migrants' rights advocates organized this caravan to coincide with the Summit of the Americas taking place this week in Los Angeles, hoping to call attention to the plight of thousands of migrants who have been stuck in southern Mexico for months. While most people here seem unaware of the political motivations of the caravan's organizers, many are hopeful the U.S. government will open its doors when they eventually arrive at the U.S. border.
We're asking them to help us, to be allowed to pass without so many obstacles, without having to spend so many days sleeping on the floor. We would do anything for them to help us.
There's rain on the horizon, adding to the worries that more people at the camp could also become ill.
The day is coming to an end here in southern Mexico, and migrants are starting to look for space among the crowd to get some rest. But there are simply too many people here and not enough room to accommodate them all. It looks like many others will be forced to spend another night without a roof over their heads.
Though hundreds of migrants have broken away from the caravan and continued north on their own, it could be several weeks before this group reaches the U.S. border. Organizers have asked them not to grow desperate and leave on their own, adding that there are worse dangers in Mexico than getting sick. Manuel Rapallo, Al Jazeera, Huixla, Mexico.
I don't want it to happen again. That is what 11-year-old Mia Sorello, a survivor of last month's deadly mass shooting at a Texas elementary school, told United States lawmakers on Wednesday morning as she described terrifying moments inside her classroom at Rock Elementary School and what she did to stay alive. Al Jazeera's Mike Hanna reports.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill hearing emotional first-hand accounts of the devastating human impact of gun violence in the U.S.
He shot my friend that was next to me, and I thought he was going to come back to the room, so I grabbed the blood and I put it all over me, and I grabbed my teacher's phone and called 911. I told her that we need help and to send the police in our classroom.
After her recorded testimony, the father of the 11-year-old school shooting survivor told members of Congress that the family is now dealing with the subsequent trauma.
Hello, today I come because I could have lost my baby girl. She's not the same little girl that I used to play with, hang around with, and do everything, because she was daddy's little girl. I don't know what to do because I think I would have lost my baby girl. She's everything, not only for me, but her siblings and her mother. But I wish something will change, not only for our kids, but every single kid in the world, because schools are not safe anymore.
Another parent, the mother of a 21-year-old who was severely injured in the Buffalo, New York shooting last month, issued a direct appeal to lawmakers.
You are elected because you have been chosen and are trusted to protect us. But let me say to you here today, I do not feel protected. No citizen needs an AR-15. These weapons are designed to do the most harm in the least amount of time. And on Saturday, May 14th, it took a domestic terrorist just 2 minutes to shoot and kill 10 people and injure 3 others.
I can still see her walking with us toward the exit.
This mother called for a ban on the type of assault rifle used to kill her 10-year-old daughter in Uvalde, Texas.
So at this moment, we ask for progress. We seek to raise the age to purchase these weapons from 18 to 21 years of age. We seek red flag laws, stronger background checks. We also want to repeal gun manufacturers' liability immunity.
These are measures supported by Democrats in Congress and echoed by several members during the hearing.
No civilian needs an assault rifle, and the Second Amendment does not protect the right to own a weapon of war. It's time that we banned assault rifles from our streets, from our communities, from our homes.
But even on an occasion like this, the partisan divide is all too clear. Republicans wary of what they call an assault on the right to bear arms, calling for added security in schools rather than new gun control legislation.
Too often tragedies are politicized for partisan gain, and we have seen many seek to leverage these crimes and their victims to push for radical left-wing policies or to buttress their campaigns to get elected.
A division reflected in the Senate too, where 9 Republican votes would be needed to pass any meaningful legislation. Votes that are unlikely to be forthcoming on anything other than the most tepid of measures. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
And internationally, Thailand has become the first country in Asia to decriminalize marijuana. Now people are allowed to grow and possess cannabis, but the government's warning smoking in public could still land people in trouble. Al Jazeera's Alexi O'Brien reports.
Lining up to get high at the Highland Cafe. Some camped out overnight in Bangkok to ensure they'd get in early. As Thailand removed marijuana from its list of banned narcotics.
I don't have to hide the fact that I use cannabis anymore. I don't have to worry about the officers who are always looking out for people using cannabis. I don't have to worry about corrupt cops who try to ask for a bribe.
But while you can now grow and carry marijuana, lighting up just anywhere is still a no-no. The government says it's promoting cannabis for medicinal use only, warning that smoking in public could get you a 3-month jail sentence or a $780 fine. And the amount of tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, the chemical that makes people high, will be limited in commercial products, such as these ganja gummies.
One of the main discussions of Cabinet was about the way people should behave. People can consume and smoke both cannabis and hemp, but certain behavior has to be controlled.
While the government doesn't want Thailand to be seen as a weed wonderland, the Public Health Minister's planning to hand out 1 million marijuana seedlings to encourage growth in the industry. Authorities hope the trade will boost agriculture and tourism, which have been stunted by the pandemic.
Thailand, with this happening now, after COVID, after the economy going down the drain, really do need this to kind of get back up on their feet.
Good news too for small-time cannabis farmers like Tana Satamon Plemjit, who used to grow illegally.
This industry will put more money in people's pockets. The new cannabis bill will create a more welcoming environment for new business owners. They don't have to be stressed out about legal issues or who they can sell their products to.
Southeast Asia is known for its strict drug laws. The changes mean about 3,000 prisoners serving time for cannabis crimes will be released. Activists say they'll keep pushing for the rules on recreational use to be eased. Alexia O'Brien, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Friday at 5:30 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.